It is Wednesday, October the 21st. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. We're glad to have you with us this morning. We're moving through this week, the middle of the week already. Brittany Pacheco joins us from her home studio. Brittany, I know Wednesdays are always exciting to you.
They are exciting to me. Good morning, Todd, and good morning, everyone else. Because one, we have our weekly visit from Chief Greg Cunningham, who we'll talk to in just a moment. But yes, it means we're halfway through the work week, and this is day 3 for hostage situation. Anyway, so moving on, I just want to remind everyone to please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be the first to find out the latest uploads from us. And last but not least, we do need our audience help in order to increase our audience and also, just more importantly, just to share the information. You never know who is missing out, and hey, I mean, this is important stuff that we definitely want to get out to our community members.
That's right, Brittany. It's always important to stay connected and in touch while we're during this point of working virtually for many of us. Of course, some people are back on campuses. One man that's monitoring the situation, and he joins us every Wednesday, HCC Police Chief Greg Cunningham. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, Todd. Brittany, you guys doing okay today?
It's a good day today. We're glad to have you with us. If you'd stand by, I want to get an update on the campuses. Got a few things to talk with you about as well.
Absolutely.
We are going to move on to our first guest today. Now, this young lady has been a student success story. She's a success for HCC. Her name is Angela Duong. You may recognize her from some video we did for a Board of Trustees meeting, I think a couple of years ago. She is an HCC former student here. She was a subject of one of our student videos for student success stories, and she's a registered dental hygienist for URBN Dental Uptown. Good morning, Angela. Let's see if we can get you to unmute there. Can you unmute your mic?
Yeah.
There we
Hello,
go. Yeah, we got you. Yeah,
all
how
right,
are you?
Excellent. Good morning. I'm fine. How are y'all?
Great. Now, we had you on, I believe it was a couple of years ago when we did the student success story. Was it in the last 2 years? Do you remember?
It was definitely in the last 2 years. A lot has changed in the last 2 years.
A lot has changed for you. Now, you tell us about your time at HCC. I know you were working through Coleman, and you moved on into the dental world. Tell us what you're up to now.
Yeah, so I was at HCC for 2 years doing the program there. Actually 3, because I did prereqs there as well. I graduated from the dental hygiene program in 2017. And then during that time, I was given a lot of opportunities to give back to the community through dental service events, and that was awesome. And surprisingly enough, I tutored for the program for over a year. So anyone who has a slow start, you can make it. It was like finally my last year, and my instructors all looked at me and was like, wow, you got it now. And I was so to everyone out there that's struggling when you first start, you'll get there.
So tell us your memories of HCC and some of the things you remember about the college, and it must have meant a lot to you because you've been a tutor for the system as well.
Yeah, it did mean a lot for me, and it's interesting because you think, oh, HCC, you think a smaller campus and all that, but being at Coleman, for example, their student life there was really interactive. Even during, this is October month, which is breast cancer awareness. Yep. And they had a lot of events during that day. I still have that shirt. If I wasn't working today, I would totally be wearing that shirt that says Pink Strong. So that was really neat to have that student life at HCC.
And your time at HCC, I know being at Coleman, can you imagine the world we're living in now? I mean, a lot of students are doing their classes virtually. I know you're out of school in some ways, but what's your impression of what's going on right now?
I definitely feel for the students right now, especially with interactive learning is definitely harder than what we're used to, especially the students that do a field like dental hygiene or dental assisting, where it is easier to be in person. So my thoughts definitely go out to them. As far as what patient care on my part, our office, URBN Dental Uptown, we're doing all the precautions that we can. We have the proper protective gear. We have high grade filters, because we know patients want to be here too. And the
Yep.
thing that I want patients to leave with is the fact that we're trying to stay protective for not only them, but us and our family and their families.
Now, what was it like for you right after you left HCC? Did you transfer somewhere before you went to work at Urban Dental? And how long have you been at Urban?
So right after HCC, with the license process, it was about a month or two before I got my official license. And I did a lot of temp work, to try to get out there and see what works for me and what doesn't. But shortly after, I found Urban, and it's been the right home for me since then.
What makes it the right home for you? Maybe you can tell us a bit about Urban Dental.
The thing about Urban Dental that makes it the right home for me, and my boss, Dr. David Nguyen, he hates being called my boss, so that talks to his humility right there. He allows me the time to actually get to connect with my patients, talk to my patient, educate them. I know the dental office isn't everyone's favorite place to go. It humbles me every time. People are like, I hate going to the dentist, and I was like, keeps me humble, don't worry. But afterwards, it's just the little things that they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And it's just the simple things that we take for granted, like the most efficient ways to brush and floss. Why are we shoving this like floss? It's important. And they leave understanding that, and they're a better teammate because of it.
What have been some of the concerns of your patients during COVID? I know, did you guys have to shut down for some time? And with patients coming back, what are you hearing?
Yeah, so right after, the initial shutdown, we were closed from probably mid-March to mid-May, basically. And during that time, we took the time to gear up and get ready. And one of the biggest thing is we only see, especially during check-in and check-out, one patient at a time. So there's not a lot of cross-contamination. There's not a lot of cross-interaction. Even with the front desk, there's a sneeze guard. Temperatures are being taken on everyone, people who work here, people who are patients, and questionnaires are being taken as well. So a lot of safety precautions.
A lot of precautions indeed. And if you could give some advice to some of your some of the students at HCC right now, you kind of touched on it at the beginning, but what would you say to students who are going through this program right now in these very trying times?
Keep at it. There is, especially when you're in school, there's an end goal, right? There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and pay attention to that light, because like I said, I struggled and I know it's a different kind of struggle than right now. I completely understand that, but I struggled with getting it, because now you have to involve your head and your hands, and everything has to work together. And for a while, it just was not connecting. And I had really good advice and instructors who were patient with me and worked through it. But then to be able to graduate not only as, most outstanding student, but outstanding leadership, it tells you all that work really paid off. And I remember my uncle, he would be like, you called me every semester telling me you were going to fail, and you bring home these awards. Like, are you kidding me? So there's that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's going to pay off. Hard work pays off.
It sure does. Angela Young, we appreciate you being here. We always love to catch up with our former students. Great job at HCC. Continue your success with Urban Dental, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the morning. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, we're going to move on to HCC Police Chief Greg Cunningham. And Chief Cunningham, I want to ask you now, we talked about COVID a little bit before we went on the air, and we were just talking about it with Angela, but it seems like around certain parts of the country, and really what's scary, up in North Texas, some COVID cases seem to be on the rise.
Yeah, there surely is becoming a spike, not just in Texas, but around the country. And it's something that I think everybody really needs to pay attention to. We've been working very, very hard to try to get our college open, as well as life kind of back to normal. And if you look at Europe, and if you look at some of the things that are going on in places that suffered from it before us, they're now backsliding. In fact, Ireland just reimposed a bunch of the lockdown procedures and whatnot. We own this, guys. It's about adhering to the protocols. It's about doing the right thing. And if you're not feeling well, not come. HCC has put together a really, really good program to try to make sure that our faculty, students, and staff all stay safe. I'm going to ask you guys, embrace it. Keep those masks on. Let's not get this. It's my right to walk around without one. Yeah. This is really about everybody's public health.
And I guess, Chief, At this point in the stage of the game, it's all on yourself. And you, like you said, you have to own it, because things are opening up. Shops are opening up. Restaurants are back to nearly full capacity. So the state's trying to conduct business, but we have to take those personal measures. You know, one thing I know, if I go into a restaurant and there's too many people, we'll turn around and leave. You know, and that's just, you have to take your own personal safety and the safety of others into factor and own it yourself.
Yeah, and Todd, you're spot on, right? So I really hated being locked down, and I'm sure you and most of the listeners did, right? It was a horrible experience, and I really don't want to do it again, right? So it's really incumbent upon us to try to keep at least our little part of Texas safe, right? So we can continue to get life back to normal again. And I'll be honest with you, I really hope everybody takes that seriously and understands that they're part of the solution.
Yeah, Chief. And, you know, one place I found it easy to social distance. I had a chance to early vote last week. All the locations, there are a lot of them open across Harris County, and you can literally vote at any one you want. And there's social distancing there. Many of these don't have a lot of people. And I know we have a lot of locations opened on HCC campuses during the early voting process.
Yeah, we sure do. And what I'd like to report to you guys is it's running really, really smooth. I'm not going to try to remember all the locations, but please check on our website. We talked about it last week as well. But what we've tried to do is we've tried to put the voting locations in places where we're not managing students every day. So there's a separation there. So if you're a student, don't worry about it. You'll be safe. You'll be healthy. The voting process has really been moving forward pretty well. We've had lines like the first day or two, but like now the lines are really, really reasonable. You can get in and out in just a few minutes. One thing I am going to ask you, I noticed it last night while I was doing a little homework for today. It seems as though the Texas Supreme Court is going to listen to a case on whether drive-in voting is okay or not.
Yeah.
I really thought that was a unique solution, and I'm not sure what the argument is, but that's cooking for today.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that turns out. And I know one of our campuses, the West Loop in particular, has been getting a lot of media coverage because they offered the drive-in voting for people who were wanting to drive in and vote.
Yeah, and actually it was a very, very cool process. I think NRG or Brown, the George R. Brown are also doing it. And everybody that I've talked to that's experienced it says it's really a neat way to do it. I'm not sure what the court argument is about. I didn't get details on it, but it's supposed to be before the Texas Supreme Court today, and I'm sure there'll be a ruling here pretty quickly as soon as election day is so close.
Chief, how is the voting affecting to the in-person classes that are happening right now? I know we have a very limited amount of our students going to certain campuses for the lab-based courses.
Yeah, so the bottom line here is the chief operating officers and presidents of the colleges are freaking rock stars, is all I can say. They have figured out how to make all of this happen, keep their students, faculty, and staff and the voting situation kind of separated so that each one is operating independently. Our facilities guys are going in and cleaning facilities after the in-person classes that'll be day after day, as well as going into these election locations and making sure that they're ready for that whole thing to happen. So the reality is a lot of this was on planning that happened all summer long. We knew the elections were coming and we knew what role we were going to need to play. And those presidents and COOs and the facilities folks have just flat hit a home run here. They've really done a nice job of keeping things separate and apart from one another so that you can come to the campus either for your classes and feel confident, or if you're coming to vote, that situation is also very well under control.
And Chief, I know some of student services are taking limited appointments, meeting with students over financial aid or other things as well, and that's happening. But the main thing there is when you do go to a campus, there's going to be a screening process, and you need to look at downloading or actually answering a question through an email that you'll receive on a daily basis.
Well, right. So again, this process is very, very neat. The student services support groups are trying to be there for those students that need help. They are encouraging everybody to make an appointment, and I'd encourage you to do that. It helps them figure out their staffing, and it keeps you from having to stand in line. So the screening process is really pretty interesting. Once it's they figure out that you need to be there, you get an email and you click on it and it asks you where are you going by location, right? So I'm going to Central Campus. I'm going to the J.B. Whiteley building. And then they ask you a couple questions about your health. Have you been in close contact? Are you showing any symptoms? The coughing, all the flu-like symptoms everybody talks about. And if you answer no to that, then all they do is say, you've been honest and truthful with me? Yes, I have. And boom, there you go. You get a little QR code. And when you go to the campus to check in, they scan your QR code and they know you've already been pre-screened, you're ready to go, and you can go right into the buildings.
Chief, I wanted to go off subject on another subject, which has really been reoccurring over the past few days in the city of Houston. We've been reminded really that first responders are really placed in a very dangerous position with the shooting death of an HFD arson investigator last week. And just yesterday, a Houston police officer, 41-year veteran about to retire, shot and killed in a situation. So you hear something like this, you're a police officer as well. You got to internalize this, I imagine, and you probably do take a lot of this personally.
Well, the entire police community has been struggling all summer, right? But what this does bring back to focus is this profession is a difficult profession. Domestic violence calls are some of the scariest calls you will ever make. And managing them well isn't always as easy as everybody makes it sound.
Yeah.
This was a tragedy. This sergeant had been around for 41 years, developed and grew hundreds and hundreds of young HPD officers coming on, right? It's the legacy, right? What you teach, you pass on. This sergeant was an amazing guy, and his loss is going to be felt forever. Well, police need to be held to a higher standard, and that's been the theme this summer. Understand that higher standard also needs to understand how difficult the job is that these men and women are trying to do. We want to do it as professionally as we can. But it's a scary place. And that officer was shot multiple times, and quite honestly, just barely made it to the hospital long enough for his family to get there.
Yeah,
that's a reality, and it's truly a burden of this profession. And we hope that the community will understand those pressures, as well as the other pressures to be professional when we're all working through this.
You know, Chief, with any tragedy, I know there are people out there who try to take advantage of the situation. And in light of what happened with that officer, people may be wanting to donate to certain causes. You've got something you want to warn people about, a scam that's been going around. People need to be aware of this.
Yeah, absolutely. This situation is kind of a trigger for it, as well as you're coming into the holiday season. Number one is most of the community loves their police and wants to support them. They want professional behavior, but they support them very well. So a lot of folks are calling on the phone saying, oh, I'm with Blue Lives Matter, or I'm with this kind of police association, and they're soliciting money from you. Ladies and gentlemen, what I would ask you to do is make sure you vet who's calling you prior to giving them anything. Quite honestly, if you reach out to the local Houston Police Officers Association, they can vet who those folks are very, very easily and quickly for you. If you reach out to police headquarters and say, hey, are you guys doing this? They'll tell you right away, yes or no. Before you give them your credit card numbers, or before you take money out of your savings account and send it to them, please make sure that what you're doing is really for the benefit of police officers. we appreciate you and we appreciate you wanting to donate. But what we want to make sure we do is that you're not taken advantage of by some of these folks. And bear in mind, you're going to get a ton of those phone calls coming into the holidays. And if it's not Blue Lives Matter, it may be some other issue that will make a difference.
Chief Greg Cunningham, HCC Police Chief, we appreciate you being with us on the show as you do every Wednesday.
Guys, hang in there. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks, Chief. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
All right, we're going to move on to Brittany Pacheco. And Brittany, today is the day we've had guests on the show talking about a panels discussion that's going to be happening today. It's called Journey to Today, 100 Years of Women's Right to Vote.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. And like you said, it is the day Women in Leadership panel discussion commemorating the 19th Amendment, which allowed women the right to vote, is the topic of discussion. So HCC's panel of faculty and students will include several of our, as you know, we said, faculty members. Sorry, I'm just scrolling and I can't, brain at the same time. But it's going to be moderated by Dr. Helen Graham. She was previously on the show to discuss this topic. So for everyone interested in participating in this panel discussion, check your HCCS emails for information to register. That's where all that great information is going to be.
So Brittany, at 7 p.m. today, Wednesday, October 21st, later on today, there is a RecSports is sponsoring something very important. It's called Don't Jeopardize Yourself Trivia. RecSports and Student Life will join forces for 3 rounds of wellness trivia on drug and alcohol addiction. Judging from the title, this could be a spin on the regular show Jeopardy. We'll have to just wait and see. But the winners will get e-gift cards. Check your email for registration. That will be a good one. Also, the real journey of a licensed peer counselor. That's happening as well. And I believe that's tomorrow, Brittany.
It is tomorrow, Todd, which is Thursday, October 22nd. This is happening at 1 p.m. So RecSports and Student Life are also sharing the story of an individual who overcame addiction and is working hard to keep it that way. That's going to be an incredibly inspiring story. So again, check your email, your HCCS email for the registration info on this topic.
Another one they're holding is called The Effects of Alcohol and Drugs Amongst College Students. That's going to be next Tuesday, October 27th from 1 to 2 p.m. HCC Counseling and the Human Services Technology Department will present statistics on substance abuse in a college setting and how to minimize stress that increases students' chances of engaging in dangerous behaviors. We'll have the registration link for that webinar in the social media post for the show. On to some fun stuff. Zumba, boot camp, that's all happening too, Brittany, through RecSports.
They are. Now, these are usually held Tuesdays and Thursdays, so nothing today of that nature, Todd, because I know how much you love your Zumba, but you can join tomorrow.
Workout, twerk fitness.
Oh, okay. We've moved on from Zumba to twerk fitness, Todd. Okay. That's his thing now, everyone, just so you know. So these sports events, if you want to register, you can email christian.andrews@hccs.edu with the subject line twerk or Zumba or boot camp, whichever event you want to participate in. And be sure to, once again, send that email. And also, Todd, with RecSports, they're having their Rockets League deadline. So Rockets may be done, but the HCC Rockets gamers are just beginning. Their tournament, which is only open to HCC students, starts October 26th. Gamers will compete in a single or double elimination of first, second, and third place prizes. What those prizes are, I'm not sure, but be sure to register for this really awesome event. This is happening Thursday. The deadline to register is Thursday, October 22nd.
And they're having a pumpkin decorating contest. That's right. 'Tis the season for Halloween. Carve and or paint a pumpkin and send RecSports a photo of your creation. Okay, quick little note here. Back when I was at U of H, I lived in the dorms and I was floor number 11 where I lived. Total party floor, okay? We had like a pumpkin contest for each floor, all right? and everybody got a chance you had a designation for the pumpkin. Well, of course, none of us were going to decorate a pumpkin. So the last minute, we grabbed the pumpkin, which they left us undecorated. We put it on the table with a note pinned to it that was like with a push pin on there that said Pablo Picasso Abstract Pumpkin.
Of course.
We won second place.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
I'm not even gonna go there.
There were pumpkins decorated like a zebra. Some people had gone real out. Obviously, hours spent decorating pumpkins. We won second place.
Yeah, we've done that at the office too through our talent engagement. They'll host a pumpkin decorating contest, and I've been a judge in the past, so I kind of miss that because I like the creativity that comes out.
They've had some great creations. I've been a judge once for them too.
Yeah, but hey, that Pablo Picasso abstract thing, that's different.
I can't remember what we won. I think it was like a gift certificate to get free pizza, which we probably used right away, immediately.
Yeah, well, college students, they need their pizza. But also, Todd, what college students need at time are tutors, which we have tutors available to meet with students virtually through Microsoft Teams, thanks to our HCC Academic Success Center. Now, they help with staying on track with your coursework, understanding your assignments, as well as improving study skills, because let's face it, in order to be successful, you need to do all the above and then some. So if you're interested in having a meeting with one of our tutors, you can give a call to 713-718-8184, or you can just go to the link that we'll have in this post to once again access the HCC Academic Success Center.
Some things online available to you students. We've got a virtual students online services toolkit that's available. We'll have the link in this post. We've also got a virtual lobby that'll answer your questions. You just go to the homepage on our website. You'll get caught up with that. You can get a Zoom call, an email, or a phone call. That's all available. We've got virtual open housing sessions, virtual open houses sessions in October. That's happening now. And college transfer fairs, Brittany, those are going on as well.
They are. So with the virtual open house sessions that's happening in October, you can go to hccs.edu/information-sessions to see when the next session is available. They're going to go over your application, financial aid, other questions that incoming students would have or rather need answers for. But with the virtual college transfer fairs for our current students who want to transfer to a four-year institution, go check out the website hccs.edu/transferfair. You're going to hear from colleges such as A&M, this is Texas A&M, Prairie View, all of the U of H branches, go U of H Clear Lake, go Hawks, and UT, as well as the University of St. Thomas, and many, many more. So once again, go to hccs.edu/transferfair to check out the dates and times for these college sessions.
So tomorrow on the show, we're going to continue talking about the journey on today, 100 years of women's right to vote. That's the webinar's happening today. We've got another guest, Ruth Dunn, who's a faculty member of the sociology department. She'll be joining us on the show to talk about the 19th Amendment and the many topics she covers within her department. And it's Virtual Family Fun Thursday tomorrow, Brittany.
Yes, I love Virtual Family Fun Day because we have the opportunity to talk to different museums and organizations around the country that might be appealing to, families here, children, maybe, you just have an interest yourself. So we're going to be talking to the Children's Museum. I used to love going there as a kid.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're closed again, but they have an all-time access to your digital connection to their educators from wherever you are, at home, at school, and for at play. So this is awesome. I can't wait to hear from them. They have a lot of fun ideas for our kiddos, and a lot of our students, obviously, are parents. So this is something to tune into. Before we go, Todd, I just want to remind everyone to, once again, follow us on social media, and don't forget about YouTube, and don't forget to share this podcast.
Yeah, share the show because we want to get the word out there. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'll be back tomorrow. Brittany will be back tomorrow, and we'll have some guests. We'll meet you right here live, 10 a.m. on Facebook.